Welcome to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison.
I'm Molly, a former skeptic, now full-time energy healer, author, and your resident science meets spirit nerd.
And I'm Madison, a born and raised witch, teacher of the craft, and owner of not one, not two, but 3 metaphysical businesses.
Together we dig into low-effort witchcraft, spirituality, and the science that backs it all up, all with humor, heart, and a sprinkle of chaos.
So whether you're a curious skeptic or a seasoned witch, find a cozy spot, take a deep breath, and let's demystify some magic. Howdy doody, friends.
Howdy doody, friends.
I have big news, you guys.
Big news.
We are in the same room.
We're in the same room.
It's been, oh my God, did the anniversary of the podcast pass and we missed it?
Well, it's in 3 days from recording this.
Okay, 3 days from recording this, it'll be 3 years that we've been doing this podcast.
Hey, pew, 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 pew.
And we have never done an episode in the same room before.
We did for our 1-year anniversary.
I guess, but that
doesn't count. That was in front of a live studio audience.
Yes, we've done 1 Patreon episode.
Yeah.
But again, other people were there.
That's true.
It's never been just you and me in a room with our microphones.
Oh, God, this is weird.
I hope it goes okay.
When we went to Chicago and did the videos.
Oh.
This feels different. You can't see us.
Yeah, it's more intimate.
Well, Joe was there.
Joe was there, so it's different. We're just in Molly's home office right now. I think that's what it is that there's like a real level of intimacy here.
Yeah, you've never recorded from my office.
And we did just spend 2 hours rearranging your house because you go out of town tomorrow and your house is being painted. So we're in Molly's office surrounded by all of the shit that also used to be in her living room earlier today.
Yeah, it's real good space to be recording in.
One thing I love to do when I go to visit my friend is be given a task. And I mean that so sincerely and wholeheartedly. It was like 3 p.m. and I was like, well, what are we going to do for the rest of the day? We had no plans. And then suddenly it was like, oh, we actually have to move all of the furniture in this house. I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
Somebody's giving me something.
Well, it's like when I stayed at your house when you weren't there and I renovated your bathroom.
Yeah. She did do that.
Yeah.
I'm like a herding dog.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a dog that can't not have a job.
Yeah. I get that.
But now the job has created quite the circumstance for us.
There is a jungle between us. There are like 5 houseplants that are all in various degrees of poor shape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had to congregate them by the window. Mm-hmm. And that's, it's for them.
It's for them. And for us.
And for us. The reason we are in the same room today is because Molly and I just came off of a little writer's retreat we went on together.
Writer's retreat we went on together.
We took a little trip, maybe like 45 minutes away from where Molly lives, rented a little cabin, Airbnb. If you want to hear more about the absolute calamity that ensued from said Airbnb, I could almost guarantee you it will be on next month's episode of our Patreon bonus podcast.
Yeah.
So hop on over to there if you want to be the first to hear it when it comes, because But that's not the point of today's episode.
Not the point of today's episode. We're going to talk about low effort rituals for writing, which I suppose you could apply to any creative endeavor that you are creating.
For sure. Yeah. I think that these are the things that we use in our writing process, but they could be applied to any sort of creative endeavor. If you're an artist, if of any kind, if you are, I don't know, like I guess artist kind of like encapsulates it all.
Yeah.
If you do video work, if you do painting, if you do drawing, if you do graphic design, any of those things, these could apply to that as well.
Yeah. And then next week, we're going to do a low effort crafting magic. So it's going to be like 2 artsy creative episodes in a row for my artsy creative demysties.
I'm so excited about our craft episode.
Me too. We've been crafting up a storm this weekend.
But before we dive into our writing episode that will then lead us to our crafting episode, what was your magic moment this week?
My magic moment is that my bestie knows me so well. Because when Madison went on her Disney World trip after her engagement to Drew, she brought back and flew all the way to Maine a Figment Squishmallow for me. I love Figment. I love Squishmallow. It's the perfect Squishmallow size.
I was so excited when I saw it. We went to Disney after we got engaged. If this is your first episode, I recently got engaged, and my fiance took me to Disney World after he proposed to me.
Good work, Drew.
Good work, Drew. And we were at Epcot, and we rode the Figment ride only because you had us go on it last time, and so it felt nostalgic.
I love Figment.
And it was so fucking hot when we went. We were like, we just need to be in a slow moving ride that's inside.
Yeah.
And it's great for that. And so we came out the gift shop, and I saw a wall of Figment Squishmallows, and I said, I have to get that for Molly, right? And Drew was like, when are you gonna get, like, how are you gonna get that to her? And I was like, I literally get on a plane to see her in 5 days. And so I squished it into my suitcase.
Hence the name.
Brought it up here, and it was the first thing I did when I got here was go, I can't wait another moment. This is your present, and hand her a Disney bag.
I knew it would be Figment something because you sent me a photo from the Figment queue, but I did not expect Squishmallow. And I love him. I love him. Thank you. What was your magic moment?
My magic moment, I think, really has just been like experiencing the place where you live. It's been really fun. I love New England, so I knew that I would enjoy it here. But I've really, really loved exploring Maine. Even like we haven't done a ton, but just like you took me around Portland. You took me around the little town that we stayed in, a couple other little spots, you know, like just along the way. And I just really, really love Maine. We've eaten like only local food and gone to like only local shops. And I've really enjoyed meeting the people and seeing just like the place that you live, like your community, you know. It's been really fun. You took me to a yarn store.
I did.
And it's just been a really good time.
Yeah. It's been fun showing you around. That was actually going to be my magic moment, but then I knew you'd steal that, so I chose Figment instead. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
All right. We've had lots of questions about our writing process, so we figured before we get into some low effort spells, we could just talk through our writing process, because I think you and I were both in the middle of manuscripts. You are further along in yours than I am. And I just came off writing and publishing my first book. So I feel like we have a process of sorts.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell us about yours.
We definitely also have very different methods.
Very different methods.
I've found that to be true very much so over the course of the last few days, like working with you. There is a poet and author, Kava Akbar, who I've talked about before on the podcast. He talks about the ox poet versus the cat poet. And I think that you are a little bit more of the cat poet than I am, where you just you like experience inspiration and then you just fucking go. Yeah. And then you put it down, and it can be put down for a long time. Yeah. But the inspiration comes back and you just fucking bang it out. Yeah. And I am more the ox poet, where I have to sit down and do a little bit every day. And I kind of have to like force it out. I have to work in like shorter increments, shorter spurts. Yeah. And so I have to get out of the house. The way that I kind of have my life set up right now is that Tuesdays are my major writing day. That's where like the only thing on my agenda for the day is that I write, and I do as much as I can. And then I just like allow myself to recuperate because, again, if this is your first episode, I'm currently writing my book about grief that will come out in the fall of next year. I'm very excited about it, but it is also very, very personal and can be sometimes like a little bit re-traumatizing. Yeah. Because it's half narrative, half spell book, where I am telling the story of how my friend died and what I experienced kind of in the before, during, and after that experience that changed my practice. Yeah. And so there are all these really big moments. And so I find that it's like kind of exhausting sometimes to do that like very vulnerable work. And so I get out of my house, because when I write that really vulnerable stuff in my house, it can kind of like change the whole day. Yeah. So on Tuesday mornings, I get myself some little treat magic, whether that's a coffee out or a breakfast out or just like some kind of something that I don't normally have.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to the library right at 10 a.m. when they open.
Wow.
I stand in the crowd with all of like the parents and their children.
Stop. That's
who are
so
there
cute.
For like, you know.
You rope drop the library.
I rope drop the library. It's true.
That's how you know you're an author.
I arrive there at about 9:45 and I sit in my car because I always convince myself it's going to take me longer to get there.
Yeah.
And I rent a study room.
Oh my God, that's cute. A room.
And you can only rent the study room for 2 hours.
Oh, so you got a marathon.
It's really nice.
Lock in.
So I get to my study room and you can't book a new one until your old one is completed.
Okay.
So I know that for that 2 hours, I'm going to sit right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I use Hank Green's app, Focus Friend.
Yeah, you do love Focus Friend. Is your Focus Friend knitting right now?
No, I forgot to get him started because my phone's on the other side of the room.
Ooh.
And rough. I almost asked you if we could pause, but I didn't because I decided to be really brave about it. I use the app Focus Friend that Hank Green started. I'm a big fan of it. Basically, you just have this little bean creature that is on his phone all day and he can't get off his phone. But if you set a focus timer, he knits.
Mm-hmm.
And
he is you.
I know. He's me, quite literally. Because, wait, we're going to get there because the bean and I take turns.
Sure.
So I set a 20-minute timer where my bean knits. The bean knits because then he knits socks and scarves. And then you can take those socks and scarves and trade them for things to decorate his house. Which is how you, like, reward yourself for focusing.
Mm-hmm.
So I set a 20-minute timer and I just write for 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I keep my knitting in my bag. I bring it with me.
Yeah.
So I write for 20 minutes. My timer goes off. I see how many socks and scarves my bean knitted.
Mm-hmm.
I set a break timer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I knit one round of whatever I'm working on.
Yeah.
And then I set another 20-minute timer. And I go until my 2 hours are up in my study room.
Mm-hmm.
It's about noon.
Yep.
That's when I change locations. So I either go to somewhere else in the library or I go get lunch somewhere and write while I have lunch. Or then I'll go home and like kind of like parse through what I've written.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll go to like the store and write there. But like I change my scenery again in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then I'm a little less structured with it, depending on how much I've gotten done in those 2 hours.
This is so incredibly structured.
I know, which is so unlike me.
It really is.
Routine has really been the one thing that has kept me consistent with my writing, because I was always very much the student that I was an English major and I would leave my papers until the last minute, like 3 hours before that 11:59 p.m. deadline. I was like, okay, I guess I have to do it right now. Yeah. And I would crank out 5,000 word essays, and I don't know that they were great, but they certainly existed.
I passed.
And so I was really, really anxious when I got this deal. Like, I knew that I would be writing the book in December of last year, and my manuscript is due at the end of September. Mm-hmm. And I was like, if you don't start every week, non-negotiable, you were going to wake up in August
and panic.
Yeah. And be fucked. Yeah. So I've had to be really regimented with myself, which I think has been good for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you?
I am definitely not someone that can do a little bit every day. Yeah. Like that is not, that is like trap me in a jail cell level of no. When I was writing Mundane Magic, or like right before I got my book deal, I read a bunch of books by authors about how to write books. And a lot of the advice was like, just sit down and write every day. And so I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. Stephen King says, sit down, write 1,000 words every day. That's what I'm going to do. And I could not do it. It was like forcing. It was like force feeding someone who's not hungry. Yeah. And it just like didn't, I would end up like scrapping everything I wrote. So I found I write best in like the complete opposite of a routine. Like for me, going away for a weekend, I can write a bunch. I get to airports, you know, I'm traveling so much for Mundane Magic that writing the next book, I'm in airports a lot, I'm in hotels a lot. And so for me, it's like I will spend extra time in those places. I'll get to the airport extra early so that I can write before boarding. Or, like when I was traveling, I took an extra day laying over in Chicago and sat in the lobby and wrote for most of that day, because I just need to be out of I can't be in my routine.
Mm-hmm.
I do like going to the library. I do like going elsewhere, but I find when I'm home, I will find excuses to do other things.
Yeah.
Like I will start doing projects that are not due for a long time, or I'll just like piddle. So for me, it's really like I have to, really jettison myself out of the routine. When I was writing Mundane Magic, I also set aside a day a week where I'd write, but I wasn't as structured with it. It was Fridays, and some Fridays I would wake up early, I'd be inspired, and I'd write all day. And some I would sit around and just like struggle to get a word out, and then, maybe write 200 words in the afternoon or whatever. But then there were some Fridays where I'd write like 5,000 words and I was on fire. And so I also like started Mundane Magic a lot later in the process. Like I had a much tighter deadline, because I basically waited until the ink was dry on the deal before I started working on my manuscript.
Yeah, if I had done that, I would have been in a much different place as well.
Don't do that if you can avoid it. So I haven't done that yet, which is why I'm not announcing what the book I'm working on yet, because ink is not dry yet. I will announce it when I can. But I'm taking it at a much slower pace this time. Before it was like, okay, there was pressure. There's definitely deadline pressure, which I think helped me. But this time around, the book is structured so differently that with Mundane Magic, it's like, okay, I could bounce around and, if I had 30 minutes, I was waiting to get my oil change or whatever, I could bang out, a couple of dishwashing spells or whatever. This one, there's a lot less, like the chapters are so different that I have to kind of stay in one chapter. I can't just bounce around like I did with Mundane Magic. So it requires a certain level of focus and consistency that I'm still trying to figure out. But honestly, like this is such a bougie answer, but the answer to me was like traveling.
Yeah.
Because even when I was writing Mundane Magic, I was visiting you and my dad so much that I think I was in Florida 5 times that year.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote, I'd be in the airport and I could write like 8,000 words on a weekend trip,
mm-hmm.
versus like struggling at home for 4 weeks to write that same amount.
Yeah.
So maybe it is like maybe I just need to get more consistent about leaving the house like you do. But honestly, I have so many trips coming up that I'm just like, this book is going to be written in the Admiral's Club.
Mm-hmm.
This book is going to be written from a tray table. I don't know. My level of focus is so much stronger when I'm traveling. Is that weird?
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. I have definitely some of that. I've been more productive while I've been here.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed in an Airbnb because my mom was having a medical procedure and like I was in charge of her. She's fine. Nothing's wrong. It was like all voluntary stuff. And I was really productive in that Airbnb, even though it was like just for a day and stuff like that. I think really like getting out of the house is the secret sauce a little bit. You work from home so much that I think that travel is when you get out of the house.
It's the liminal spaces too. Like, because I remember writing most of the bedroom chapter of Mundane Magic while I was like getting my car serviced.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember they'd be like, "Oh, do you need a shuttle?" And I was like, "No, I'll sit here." And they're like, "It's going to be like 3 hours." I'm like, "Perfect."
Yeah.
Well, I brought snacks.
Mm-hmm.
So like that kind of thing, doctor's appointments, waiting rooms, like all those liminal spaces are where I'm sure that's an ADHD thing. I'm sure someone's going to diagnose me.
Well, there's nothing else to do, right? Like you can't. You're like kind of held hostage.
And it's kind of like racing the clock. It's like, I don't know when my car is going to be done. So I'll just bang one more out and one more out and one more out.
I think that's kind of what the study room does for me. Because if I leave the study room early, I'm taking it from somebody else who can use it.
Yeah.
Like then I'm the asshole.
Yeah.
And so it's like I have to be here and there's nothing else that I can do besides look at my laptop.
Yeah.
And the book is what's in front of me.
Yeah. I will say too, like I'm not someone who like you do a burst and then a break and a burst and a break. I'm just all burst. and then stop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a sprinter.
Yeah.
I'm a sprinter when it comes to writing.
Yeah, I need not, I don't even think it's really about like, oh, I need the break. It's that my brain needs to know that I don't just have to do this until an arbitrary, like until I'm done.
Yeah.
Because if I have a word goal for the day,
yeah,
if I don't, like, I will then shame myself for looking at my phone or whatever it is. So when I set the 20-minute timer, there's just like a little thing on my lock screen that's just like, okay, so I just have to do what I'm doing for the next 16 minutes or however much longer I have left. And then I can have a breather. Like, and sometimes I won't stop at that 20. Like, sometimes I'll just start another 20-minute timer immediately. Yeah. If I'm like really in flow. But I think it's just knowing that I have the option that I don't just have to sit and do the same thing.
Yeah,
until this 2 hours is up.
Yeah, or until, word counts stress me out because I will obsessively check the word count goal to see how close I am. I'm sure that's an OCD compulsion.
Oh, I have a spreadsheet. I learned this from Molly. Molly told me to do this. I have a spreadsheet, and I will update that spreadsheet of how many words I've done that day, like every 15 words. I'll write a sentence, and then I'll go update it.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a spreadsheet. I have a sticky note on my computer. I have a digital sticky note, and it's every day that I have written the starting word count, the ending word count, and how many I wrote. I did this for Mundane Magic, and it was the most interesting, like, data. My shortest day of writing was 37 words. My longest, 15,045.
Wow. That's wild.
Longest I ever went between writing was 6 weeks. And the longest, like, consecutive days was like less than 5 of writing every day.
Wow. So I have the same stats.
This is us just geeking out about arbitrary data.
I know. Well, okay. So what I want to share with you is that I have the same thing. I have the date, the end of day, word count, and the words written that day.
I don't know why I didn't put it in a spreadsheet. I never thought to do that. I was like, it's just a sticky note on my laptop.
Oh, you told me you track it, and I immediately assumed it was a spreadsheet, and so that's what I did.
No, that would make more sense.
Well, I added...
Ooh.
Yesterday, I want to go retroactively and do this, the phase of the moon and where I was in my cycle.
Ooh, that's smart.
Because yesterday was the new moon and I had a really productive day.
Yeah, me too. But we were also body doubling.
Definitely body doubling. But I have had days of similar levels of productivity. So I want to see if they're similar.
That's so fucking smart. Someone needs to make an app. That's Focus Friend, but it prompts you to put in your word count at the end, and it tracks your cycle and the moon.
Very niche. But
if anyone is an app creator and wants to get in on the ground floor of this,
this new tech startup that we're launching. But I think what I love so much about like hearing how you do things is like it really shows that you like there really is no one size fits all to any sort of creative process. And I think the antithesis to creativity is comparison. Yeah. And so when I hear you say like, oh, I wrote 15,000 words one day, I have to work to be like, oh, that's not necessary. Like that doesn't change. Like the book is the same regardless of how you got it out.
Yeah. Most of that, I will say, were meditations. So for Mundane Magic, I recorded all of the meditations and transcribed them. Because I couldn't physically type them with my hands. Like it was just hard for me.
That's such a good idea. I was writing meditations today and...
No, transcribe them. Yeah, it's so much easier.
Wow.
Yeah, so that 15,045 was like, I literally went through every meditation I wanted in the book and either found a recording that I had done of it, transcribed it and edited it, or recorded it and transcribed it. So it wasn't 15,000 words flying out of my little fingies. It was probably 3 hours of transcribing.
Wow.
Meditate, because I have a whole backlog of meditations from 10 years of teaching meditation.
That's amazing.
So that's the only reason why I could hit 15,000 in a day, because that was the day I was like, oh my God, I can just transcribe them and then just banged them out.
I love that. Yeah, my best day ever was like 2,100 words and I felt like I was on top of the world.
Yeah, that's about my average.
Had never felt so productive in my life. And that's because like that one day a week, the rest of my days are like, I just try to give it a little bit of attention every day. Now it makes me want to go and look back and see like, what's my lowest day? I think my lowest day is 39 words.
Yeah.
And so I try to treat those days like wins too.
Yeah. But you write more frequently. Like I have written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days total on this book.
Yeah.
To get to 16,000 words.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So right on average at 2,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Look at you.
Look at me. Anyways, let's talk about low effort writing spells.
Yeah.
See?
So I would be remiss to not remind you all that I quite literally made a candle for this exact scenario, which is the Healing Hedge Witch's Creativity and Inspiration candle.
We literally brought it on the writing retreat.
We did.
I've burned through 3 of them. I went between that and the Quantum Jump candle from Spellcrafter, writing mundane magic.
2 excellent
choices.
Excellent choices. But candle magic is big for me. I bought very specifically when I was in New Orleans for my 27th birthday, right? That's when I went? Yeah, my 27th birthday. I bought a candle from a metaphysical store there that was specifically for writing. I was in the process of manifesting this book. Obviously did not know that it would be about what it is, but I really wanted to write about magic. And so I bought this candle and I was like, I will light this and use this when I have an idea, when something comes to me. And so when I write at home, I light that candle. I also have a candle for grief that I light when I'm writing the book. And so creating a candle either like that's for your creative process, for inspiration, for motivation, and then having one too that is like in alignment with the energy of what you're creating.
Yeah.
That's really helpful for me for setting the energy of the space.
Yeah.
I know we just talked about how like getting out of the house is what's really great for us, but also like that isn't always possible. And so
sometimes I need to motivate myself to get out of the house.
Yeah, that too.
It's hard. Also, you have the oil rollers too that I brought with me oftentimes when I was writing. Yeah, I like creativity and inspiration for like motivation getting started. So like I sometimes will burn that when I'm getting ready for the day when I know I'm going to write. And then quantum jump I use during the editing process because I was like in thinking about how far this book is going to go.
Yeah, and like you're quite literally like taking it through new iterations of itself.
Yep.
It's like the manuscript makes a quantum jump.
Yep. And then anytime I feel stuck or creatively blocked or like I've hit a passage that I don't know where it's going to go, I have a road opener candle.
Ooh.
It's like a road opener spell. It's perfect.
Yeah. I love that. I think really at the heart of everything that we're going to talk about is creating ritual.
Yes.
Out of the creative process, because I think creativity is also something that opens us up to spirit. In general, I think it's a very spiritual practice to make anything, right? It's like that Empress energy of the act of creation. Like that is magic in itself, right?
Totally.
And so creating ritual that gets you into the space of creation, I think is really going to be like, regardless of what avenue you use, we're always kind of like going to the same place. And so in that same vein, like especially if you are doing this creative venture outside of the house, making a spell jar or like a crystal, what's the word I'm looking for?
Sachet?
Yes, a crystal sachet. You know, like a little bag of rocks to keep in your bag.
A little bag of rocks.
Like maybe some carnelian for like that fire under you, some fluorite for focus, some clear quartz to amplify your message.
Yes. Something I'm doing for this book is I have a perfume tied to this book.
Love.
So I'm calling it my bestseller energy perfume. I got it at Le Labo. And so I either smell that or spray that or wear that when I'm in writing mode.
That's very fun. I think the fun thing about having a spell jar too is that you can pull it out and like shake it if you are experiencing writer's block, or, you know, if you're feeling distracted, like using that somehow to ground you, you know, taking a moment, and especially like if you've sealed it with some kind of wax, like feeling the wax strips, like something to bring you back into the present moment when you're feeling your mind wander, or you want to look on your phone. Getting something tactile that gets you back in, creating sound by, you know, shaking it at your ear, bringing you back into the present moment. I might make one and put it on my keychain.
That's a great idea.
You know?
Yeah, I love that. Something else that I started doing for my like online content years ago, and now it just gradually moved into writing and my creative process in general, is whenever I'm like lacking inspiration, I will think about who my ideal reader is, and I will think about where I am in my manuscript, and I will pull a tarot card or sometimes several tarot cards to get clarity on like what is it that needs to be shown here, or needs to be heard here, or what is, you know, you can ask all kinds of questions like what does my reader need to know to move on to the next section or whatever. Like instead of, you know, all those questions that you're kind of bouncing around in your head, I ask my tarot deck, and then I let that inspire, you know, what I'm writing next. Usually it's kind of like flipping a coin for me. You know, when you flip a coin to make a decision and you know what decision you want to make while the coin's in the air. That's how I feel when I'm shuffling. And then the card comes out, and usually I just glance at it and I'm like, oh, I know where to take this next. But tarot has been a huge part of like my writing journey, my creative process for a while now.
Yeah, you could also like, what is this chapter missing? What am I not seeing? Yeah. Where could I go deeper?
Yeah. Or even if you have an idea for a book and you're not sure, like, how do I lay it out? Like, what are the chapters? Like pulling maybe like 12 cards or 20 cards and having it show you the progression of the different chapters.
Totally.
And letting that inspire your outline. That can be really fun too. I did that with when I was learning how to like create courses online. I would pull cards for like the student journey and sort of like develop my curriculum based on that.
Something else that I really like to do, again, when I'm writing at home, is make a simmer pot. And that is almost like its own little built-in timer.
Totally.
Too. Yep. Because you go until the simmer pot gets low. Give yourself like a natural kind of segue into the rest of your day.
Taking a snack. Yeah. Snack break, tea break.
And you can make a simmer pot for whatever kind of feeling you want to imbue your writing session with. So if it's that you're struggling to get motivated, starting your day by making that simmer pot, letting it come up to a boil as you're making your breakfast, making your coffee, letting it kind of like infuse the space, bring you that motivation, and then sitting down to write and going, okay, so I'm going to write now until this gets low. And so I will check it in 30 minutes. I will check it in another 15. Oh, it's getting a little low. Okay, I'm going to give myself 20 more minutes here. Totally. And then I'm going to take it off, you know?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love a simmer pot. You're shocked.
Really?
You're shocked. I know. There's 50 recipes in Mundane Magic. If you're like, I don't know what to put in my simmer pot, just check the book out. But I almost always put orange in my simmer pot when I'm looking for creativity, motivation, inspiration. If you're allergic to oranges, you could choose something else. But like that is mine that I go to. I just find orange to be like so uplifting. And I don't know. It's like for me, it often feels like I compare when I feel creatively blocked or unmotivated. It feels like a really foggy, cloudy, cold day. And then orange is like the sun is out and I'm alive again.
Totally.
And then another one that I really love, this is actually inspired by a few of my graduates. We have a bunch of graduates in my Reiki training program who are authors and write amazing books. And they have all inspired me to do this when I was writing my book, but basically starting the flow of Reiki and not ending it when you're writing. So I will start sitting at my desk. I'll do a little self Reiki on myself, and then I'll keep the energy flowing while I'm typing. And anytime I feel stuck or I feel like stressed or I feel myself being like, oh, this is terrible and I hate everything I've ever written ever, I will stop, I will pause, I will reconnect with Reiki, and I will continue on. And it's just a really nice way to stay regulated while I'm writing. So I mean, I'm sure if you've listened to this podcast before, you know what I'm going to say, but your cute little brain is programmed for survival. It doesn't know the difference between you talking down to yourself about something you wrote and saying, oh, I suck at this. Oh, this is terrible. No one's ever going to read it. And a tiger chasing you. Doesn't know the difference. And when your brain thinks you're being chased by a tiger, it will literally shut down your creativity to divert resources towards survival. And so when I get into that place of like, I can't do this, I don't know what I'm doing, what if everyone hates it? I know, okay, my brain thinks this is a tiger. I can't just push past this. I need to take a moment, take a breath, do some Reiki, come back, remind myself I'm safe, and then the block just clears. It's not, I think like recognizing that's the place you're in is the harder part. But I find when I start doing Reiki before I begin writing, I'm automatically primed in that space. And then I can recognize it more and I can come back to it so much quicker. So that's been one that has been huge for me. And especially when I'm traveling, I just feel like I create this Reiki bubble around me and nobody bothers me. Like I could be in a hotel lobby and no one will talk to me. No one will look at me. No one will say anything. It's fantastic.
I am for sure stealing that because that is amazing. And that's very, I mean, we talked about this all weekend, how that's very much the place that I've been in. Everyone that I talk to about it, my agent and my editor both are like, yeah, this is very normal. And this is a good sign that you are at this place.
She's 70% through her word count.
And
you hate everything you've ever written? Perfect. That's exactly where you should be.
And I would like to scrap it. I get so many nice DMs from you guys about how excited you are to read it. And I really, really appreciate them. And then they all come back to bite me when I'm looking at the words and I'm going, they deserve better than this.
Hey, that's how I felt about Mundane Magic. And then you know what happens is okay. Let me tell you what happened for me was I felt that way towards the end of writing Mundane Magic. Sent my manuscript in, recognized that like what you send in is not the final product, right? You have an editor for a reason. And then when I finally got my first round of edits, I had forgotten what I had written in the first half of the book. So I remember I printed it out to like go through line by line. And about 10 pages in, I forgot I was reading my own book and I highlighted something that I was like, oh, I should make a post about that and share this. And then I was like, oh my God, this is my book.
That's amazing.
And so I think like you'll notice when you get a little bit of space from it, you're like, who wrote that? She's good.
Yeah.
There's one line that I remember when I wrote it, but I forgot that I wrote it. There's a tiger chasing me and its name is Laundry. And I'm like, oh, it still hits. And someone just made a TikTok quoting that. And I was like, thank you. Someone noticed that line.
You see me.
You see me. You see me. So you should hate everything you wrote at this point. That is very normal.
Great. I love to be right on time. Did we do it?
I think we did it. I think we
love
did
that
it
for us.
Yeah.
If you are in the middle of a writing project or any creative project, please tell us about it in the comments. Let us know how you bring magic into your creative process. We would love to siphon your ideas because clearly I need them.
Yes.
I am suffering.
Yes. And if you want to see the result of all these writing spells, you can pick up Mundane Magic from Spellcrafter. Or wherever you get books, I guess.
But I'd recommend Spellcrafter.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Could be fun. All right. We love you very, very much. And we'll see you next week to talk about crafts.
Yay. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison. All our links from spells to ceremonies to ways to support us are waiting in the show notes.
We'd love to hear your magic moment of the week. Share it in a review, tag us on socials, or bring it to our Patreon clubhouse at demystifymagic.com.
And remember, you are the magic.
Okay, love you.
Bye.
Mom, can you tell me a story.
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope, she bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.